Confirmed. Arsenal and Mikel Arteta to spend big in the January transfer window, and they're mostly targets to go on and spend big on might be Mudryk and Tielemans. Then we're going to talk about the current situation of two Arsenal players, especially William Saliba and Charlie Patino. And obviously, when is William Saliba expected to return and play for Arsenal? Is he going to be part of the Arsenal team versus West Ham? Mikel Arteta has gone ahead and highlighted about that in this first episode of the day. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's a Friday. How many days to Christmas? I think just one day, just tomorrow, Saturday, then on Sunday, it's really going to be Christmas, not so? It's really going to be Christmas. So guys, thank you for watching in, and obviously let's get down to the stories in here. But don't forget to subscribe because that's what really makes us what we are. Now we have a man known as Gary Jacob has gone ahead to let us know that Mikel Arteta is ready to spend heavily next month to ensure that Arsenal's title challenge is not derailed by injuries, notably to Gabriel Jesus, his main striker. Now, I want you to differentiate between heavy and big. You know, big and heavy are something different because not every big thing is heavy. That's it. Not every big thing is heavy. You've seen these bouncing castles, you can carry it, it's not heavy. You get? And there are very many other big things that really look big, but they are not heavy. Now, when someone uses the word heavy, not big, it's an indicator that the club is really willing to go on and spend a budget in the January transfer window that they've never spent anywhere. Having learned from the lessons of not spending a lot in the January transfer window of this year, and they lost out to Champions League football because they never brought in a replacement of Aubameyang. I think they've learned a lesson and they've decided to go on and spend big. Notably, Gabriel Jesus is injured. His striker options look like he's trying to get Martinelli and Nketiah to go on and really play centrally. Then sign in one of the left attacking midfielders that we've always known that they've been linked to. That is Mykhailo Mudryk. As I told you yesterday, Arsenal looks like they're not willing to go ahead and spend more than 60 million euros on Mykhailo Mudryk's deal. But already that is in spending big. Do you know why? He's going to become the record signing of Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. The most expensive signing for Mikel Arteta is Benjamin White. £50 million from Brighton to Arsenal. Next, Gabriel Jesus, £45 million from Man City to Arsenal. There comes in, is it Fabio Vieira or Zinchenko? So it shows you that when they say heavy, it's very much okay because Arsenal is looking in for Mykhailo Mudryk and they are willing to go ahead and spend close to 55 or 56 million pounds on the player. That is going to break the record of Mikel Arteta at Arsenal because Benny White is the most expensive signing of him. Now, Mykhailo Mudryk coming in through, meaning that Mikel Arteta is planning to say to it that Mykhailo Mudryk plays on the wide left. Then maybe Martinelli will go on and share the central role with a player known as Nketiah. But that shows you that Arsenal is really ready to go in for Mykhailo Mudryk and they're really willing to go on and spend heavy. Not only Mykhailo Mudryk, there is Tielemans, a player that they can go ahead and really gate on a cheap. But if you are to go on and bring him, it requires a very huge amount of sign-on fee for him to convince him because just 6 months away from now, he's going to be a free agent. Meaning that if he plays for only 6 months at Leicester, he'll be able to bag in a lot of money. As far as that free transfer is concerned. So as things stand, Gabriel Jesus is out and Mikel Arteta is looking at spending heavily on Mykhailo Mudryk and maybe Tielemans to come in and do the needful because Arsenal are really looking in for like 3 or 4 players. They need a left-footed centre-back, that is Ndika. They need a left attacking midfielder, that is Mykhailo Mudryk. central attack midfielder in the names of Tielemans, and obviously maybe a centre forward, if at all they can get. So that is the heavy expenditure of Arsenal. And if at all they are to hold some more bit of money, I believe they can go on and really do it. But the worry that Arsenal's expenditure was violating the financial fair play rule has been downplayed by Gary Jacob when he came ahead and told us the following, that Arsenal have spent approaching a net of £300 million in the past 3 summers, but have the financial flexibility to commit again after reducing their wage bill. Now, this is something that I've just gotten to know of Arsenal having one of the best financial flexibilities in the Premier League. Why? In the summer, we had a story coming in from France that Arsenal has been put under surveillance by UEFA on the financial fair play rule breach. That's why Arsenal never went in for a right winger who is left-footed, because they wanted him. That's why they ended up trying to go on and signing 20 and 35 million pound players towards the end of the summer, but everything really never worked out the way they wanted. So I've been told, as you see there by Gary Jacob, that what has helped Arsenal to go on and have a financial flexibility in its books of accounts is simple. They've gone ahead to reduce their wage bill. Notably, of the huge wage bills that Arsenal really had was that of Aubameyang. He was earning £375,000 a week. Hector Bellerin was earning close to £120,000 a week. Nicolas Pepe was earning £180,000 a week. We have a player left, that Torreira also was earning some huge amount of money at Arsenal. Same applies to Bernard Leno. So they've let go very many players. That has gone ahead to reduce their wage bill, meaning that can be converted into going into spend. I has told you that Kroenke had put up £200 million for Arsenal to spend in the summer, but they only spent £121 million on Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Matt Turner, and Marquinhos. £121 million. That's what Arsenal spent in the summer. Now, that means there is a balance of 79 or 80 million pounds. If I told you add on the money they sold Guendouzi to Marseille, that is 9.5. There is a 9 or 10 million pounds they got from Bernard Leno. There is Torreira money, meaning that Arsenal can really have close to £100 million to go on and spend in this January transfer window. So respect Gary Jacob when he comes out and tells you that they want to go on and spend heavily in the transfer window of the January, because they're having the money with them. They are having a balance they never spent in the summer. And obviously, they are having a balance that they had planned on to spend on in January. I think that puts Arsenal in a very good way and perfect position to go on and spend big on Mudryk and very many other players. And this is when I get to know that that's why Arsenal is willing to go on and pay the amount of close to 65 million euros for Mykhailo Mudryk, because they know they have the money with them. This money has been with them. They spent the money. They spent just £121 million out of the £200 million given to them in the January transfer window, in the summer, and now they revive it back to see to it that it helps them in their duties they are going to do down in the Premier League. So, after that, let's talk about William Saliba, a man whose contract has been pending ever since the July of this year. Now, we've been told the reason by Ghana Blog as to why William Saliba has not gone ahead to go on and put pen to paper. Ghana Blog is telling us that one of the reasons William Saliba's contract remains unsigned for now is that Arsenal are not offering a wage his representatives consider commensurate with the long deal the club want to tie him to, and so talks go on. That's it. And I've always told you that William Saliba's problem is the money that Arsenal is offering him. He wants to play for Arsenal. He has been an Arsenal fan for a very long time. Even the representatives of Arsenal know that 3-4 years from now, he might not be at Arsenal, but right now, the best place for him to be is Arsenal for his development to go on and be where they want the player to be. And their target was, he goes in the World Cup, he plays well for France, they come back and obviously put Arsenal onto the task to see to it that they get him the contract he wants. I believe Saliba wants like a contract of £200,000 a week, and maybe Arsenal is offering like £140,000 a week. So that is a little bit tricky, but for one of the best central defenders at his age in the Premier League and the world, that is William Saliba, I think Arsenal are making a mistake of not dancing to the tunes of the player. Why? If he reaches the summer, he'll be left with 1 year on his contract. What does that mean? It means that he can be in a better position of not even negotiating a deal with Arsenal and say, all right, I'm not going to renew a contract with Arsenal. Let me just play this 1 year and then do the needful, and another club is going to take me on a free. And he's going to be earning in a lot of money because he's one of the best centre-backs in the world. I believe Real Madrid can give him even a sign-on fee of like £20 million plus a huge salary of close to £300,000 a week. That's it. So I think if I'm Arsenal, I should go on and do the needful and get the player what he wants, because you are going to lose out on a player on a free. Yet you would have sold him in the future even if he's earning £200,000 a week. What's better? I think what's better is simple. Get the player on a contract he wants. Let him play very well. If at all you go to the Champions League, that money will be compensated. I know Arsenal want to regulate their wage bill, but right now, there is no way they are going to regulate it because Bukayo Saka is left with 2 years on his contract, meaning that Arsenal want to give him an improved bid, an improved deal that is going to make him the most paid player at Arsenal. That means it's going to amount close to £300,000 a week. You are having Martinelli agreeing a deal between £180,000 a week to £200,000 a week. That is another deal that is really hefty for Arsenal, increasing the wage bill again. Then if you get it, you have Thomas Partey earns £200,000 a week. You have Gabriel Jesus is earning £250,000 a week, meaning that in the entire starting 11 of Arsenal, whichever player goes ahead to elevate his level of playing, he will come in and call for a huge amount of money. So let's wait and see what Arsenal is planning for these players, but I believe it's better for Saliba to be tied on a contract because he's really a generational talent. He's one of the best defenders at his age in the world. Though the World Cup really did him bad, he never played, it would have given him a negotiation edge over Arsenal as far as these contract negotiations are concerned, and it's so much on the money that Saliba wants. Now, after that, Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to reveal to us whether Saliba is going to be available for the West Ham game that Arsenal is going to be playing on Tuesday next week. He has told us that. Let's see. That depends on how he comes back as well. We have the data of what he's doing, of what he's done in training, and in terms of the actual minutes, he didn't participate much. Let's see. When he gets back, we will make the decision. So, looks like Arsenal is in a position of starting Saliba. Saliba is going to start, that's it, because he has not been playing in the World Cup. He's fresh. Even the Mbappes that have been playing game in, game out reported, I think, yesterday at the training ground of PSG. So that means even Saliba has returned at Arsenal. He has trained with them, and I believe he's going to go on and really play a very fundamental job into their season. And when you look at how Arsenal has been defending with Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, they've kept lots of clean sheets. And because they are playing at Emirates, there is a little bit of worry because I think they've only kept one clean sheet at the Emirates ever since the season started. But they have close to 6 clean sheets away from home. Are they 5 or 6? Are they 5 or 6? Those are the clean sheets Arsenal is going to have to go on and keep in their entire in the entire season. So let's wait and see. In a game when you're playing West Ham that has Sikamanka, Antonio, Gerard Bowen, Benarema, and very many others, you need a Saliba to go on and play in the season. 100% sure Saliba is going to start. And I think tomorrow I'm going to come up with a breakdown of the game of football between Arsenal and West Ham. Obviously, expect it to be up on this channel tomorrow. And lastly, the man we're going to talk about is Charlie Patino. Charlie Patino is a 19-year-old player that plays for Arsenal. They loaned him to Blackpool. He's really doing very well. Obviously, the manager of Blackpool is just excited to see to it that they're having him as one of the best players at their team. And he's scoring in goals and he's being sung as a hero at a side known as Blackpool. Now, as things stand, Arsenal has gone ahead to do the needful, and they are expectant to go on and trigger the two-year optional deal in his contract, because it looks like his contract is going to run down. And we've been told by Ghana Blog that Arsenal are expected to activate the 2-year option this week for midfielder Charlie Patino to prevent the 19-year-old's deal expiring at the end of the season. Arsenal also face competition for the signatures of youngster Ethan Nwaneri and Mays Lewis Cayley. For Ethan Nwaneri, Chelsea is really eyeing him, but I believe he has a lot of confidence from Mikel Arteta that is going to keep him at the club to see to it that he really goes ahead to proceed and play better. But there is pressure that Hutchinson really played some games for Chelsea in the build up to the resuming of the Premier League, but I think Nwaneri is going to be tied there. And I think even Charlie Patino is one of those that is going to be tied at Arsenal for a very long period of time, because Arsenal giving him a loan away at Blackpool is like a way of making him really confident that the club has a lot of expectations in him, so he needs to go out there and perfect his game of football, and he's gone ahead to go on and do that. I remember they are playing Sunderland when he came on through and even scored on his debut for Arsenal in that game that ended, was it 4-1? I think it was 4-1 for Arsenal. Then they went ahead to lose to Nottingham Forest when Patino played there, when Arsenal really had no players in the midfield. So I 100% believe Arsenal are really going to go on and trigger this contract, because Charlie Patino is really one of the most exciting players I've seen, meaning that their future is really in the right hand. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Tell me what you think about Arsenal and Arteta deciding to spend big on Mykhailo Mudryk and maybe Mudryk Tielemans. What are your thoughts about it? And what do you think about Saliba? Should Arsenal go ahead and really give him the amount of money he wants on his contract, or they should keep negotiating to see to it that they come to a common ground, because Arsenal doesn't want to be having a huge wage bill? And Charlie Patino and Nwaneri, do you think they are going to put pen to paper on the new contract? For Patino, it's mandatory because there is an option of 2 years in his contract. What of a player called Nwaneri, who Chelsea is keeping an eye on? First video of the day. Rokani David is my name. May the mighty Lord bless you abundantly as we head into the birth of Jesus Christ, that is on Sunday. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates.